If your offense feels stagnant right now in college football 26, it's probably because you haven't implemented the 5 offensive tips I'm breaking down in this video. Today I'm showing you the offensive tips and techniques that the top players are using to dominate every single game that they play and score every drive. I just started using these tips and instantly went 15-0 in my latest CFB season, so I know the same thing can happen for you so long as you watch this video all the way to the end and don't skip out on anything I'm breaking down. Let's jump right into it. The first tip that you need to master here on offense in CFB 26 is actually having a play that can take the top off the defense and allow the rest of the game to open up for you. Let me show you the best one that I like using right now. Alright, so this play is called motion bench double post here from Gun Bunch Strong Nasty. All we're going to do, put A on a shriek or B on a drag, block our running back just like this, alright? And so this is going to be a great one-play touchdown against cover 3 defenses simply because of, or you're going to see it here, with this corner out from X, what it does to these outside thirds. So we're going to take this snap right here. We're going to step up in the pocket to buy us time because that's really, what you need. You need time. That's why you always want to make sure that you have this drag route on the field. You see, I almost had enough time to throw it. I did get shedded at the last second and tried to throw it on the run, but just didn't have time. But look at this. This is what I'm talking about. This outside third gets held down and outside by our corner out, which opens up all this room over the top for this, short post to run down the field. And again, if you have time to throw, you're pretty easily going to be able to hit it. I've hit this. If you've seen the Oregon State gameplays here in this channel, you guys know that, this is one of my favorite plays to call all throughout the game, simply because it's so easy. It's such an easy bomb. Like, you catch them in cover 3 at any moment, and you're just able to see how it's going to be wide open down the field. Now, I actually threw that a little bit earlier just because I was kind of feeling the pressure from the last play, but it's the same thing. If I would have waited like a second or two longer here because I have a perfectly clean pocket, well, now this area is open, right? And I probably would have gotten a better rack animation instead of an aggressive catch, right? And that would have allowed me to pick up more yards. But you're just able to see how either you're closer to the end zone or you get a phenomenal rack animation. This is going to be an easy, bomb that, Shriek holds the inside third in the middle. The corner route pulls the outside third down and holds him outside, and then you're just able to see how you have all this room over here to hopefully be able to rack catch something and turn that into easy yards. But also, it's going to be great against cover 2 defenses because what all of these players are told, right, is, hey, use our middle linebacker. But when you call Tampa 2, your middle linebacker is in a mid-read, which means he's the guy responsible for the middle. So when you user him, you take him off that assignment, you have to either go back there and guard it yourself, or that's going to be a wide open area. And so that's where the drag becomes really valuable for you, because now you're going to occupy their user, distract their user underneath, which this happens to me all the time, where that then opens up room over the top for an easy pass lead, to your post. Now, the corner out is still going to do a great job of moving these guys, but this time he's not actually going to pull him down. A deep half doesn't get pulled down by a corner out. He just gets moved outside. So he still gets moved outside, flips his hips, which is still valuable for us because now we can just very easily throw that pass and possession catch it before he has the opportunity to touch us. So this is going to be a great one-play touchdown for you. The last thing that I will break down with this play, though, is it against man coverage, because it truly is an everything beater. I walk up to the line. I would love for them to be in cover 3, but if they're not, I'm not panicking because I'm looking for my corner out or my drag if they're in man coverage. So I'm going to take the snap right here. This route's going to do a great job of creating separation, especially when you have cutter in your receiver, and that's going to be easy yards along with the possibility of hitting your drag underneath. But this play, motion bench double post here from Bunch Strong Nasty, one of the best, really everything beaters here in the game, but also it's a great one-play touchdown against cover 2 and cover 3 defenses. Alright, but that next offensive tip that I want to break down here is actually going to be a way to make your blocking better and stop getting sacked or getting stuffed in the backfield on run plays. Let me show you. Alright, so what we're going to see right here is we're going to have them just in random defense, alright? And so what I'm breaking down here is going to be the untarget defender feature, because this is exactly what you want to do. Actually, here on this play, EA does it for me, where they're going to untarget a defensive end on the weak side of this play. So you see how this play is going from right to left. It's an inside zone from right to left, which means if I follow my blocks, I'm going to end up on the left side of the field. Right? Well, I want to make sure that I'm untargeting a defender over here on this left side or excuse me, over here on this right side, never on the left side. Always away from where you're running, because he's not going to have any impact on this play. I'm just going to run right around him. He dumbs out, and then I'm able to get to my spot. You don't need to block that guy. You don't need to allocate any blocking resources to a guy who is going to have no impact on the play. You see how he comes in untouched right here, and so, but no one touched him, so he's kind of confused. He stutter steps and does nothing. So you notice how no one blocks him. But what that does for us is allows for this man, 73, who would have been blocking him, to get up here and double team. So now he gets up here, double teams this guy, and so now we're just going to be able to run right through this gap and turn that into easy yards. So that's really where it's like, you know, not blocking guys that don't need to be blocked is going to help your, you know, run blocking out a lot. So we're going to untarget this defender, and we are going to do it again right here but you have to follow your blocks, because what you notice is he comes in free. If I try to cut back, he tackles me. So it's like you can only do this when you have a lot of trust that you're going to be able to actually follow your blocks and run the other way. And honestly, what you're going to notice is when this happens, right, when you untarget these guys, a lot of the time they just dumb out like this, where they just like kind of lose where they're supposed to be. This guy would have came in untouched and probably could have made a play if my right tackle wasn't able to block him here. So it's like, that's really where this becomes the most valuable, is when you're able to call runs where you know a predetermined path of where you're going, you untarget, and then that's what's going to allow you to pick up more yards, because your line isn't going to be necessarily focused on blocking guys that don't need to be blocked. Now, against this front right here, it's paramount that we untarget someone, right? Because they have 6 guys in the box. So it's like, I need for this guy to be unblocked so that I can actually block this linebacker. Right, so boom, now we're going to take it, and we're going to be able to get to our spot simply because we untargeted that backside guy, and that allowed for me to get to my spot faster and speed boost away from a lot of these guys. So again, boom, this guy's going to come in completely untouched, and actually right here, this guy came in untouched, even though I really told him to make him the mic. So run blocking is never 100%, but it's still like, it doesn't really matter, because I was just able to speed boost away from him. When you have the speed boost technique mastered, it really just allows you to rip off those big gains. So it's like, anytime you're playing against a front like this, you always want to make sure you untarget that backside guy, and then always also make sure that, you know, you're running away from the area that he's going to come in free from, so that you can actually follow your blocks and turn this into easy yards. Like I said, this also is going to help you in the passing game too, simply because you're not going to be blocking guys that don't need to be blocked. But specifically here in the run game, which is actually where I think it's the most useful, you should be doing this on every single run play that you call, untargeting a backside defender that is going to have no impact on the play, so that you can allocate your block to the right guys and pick up more yards. Alright, so if you found those first 2 offensive tips helpful here in College Football 26, I wanted you to go down below and hit that subscribe button, because I break down College Football 26 and tips just like this every single day in preparation for 27 to help you guys get better, and you don't want to miss out on any of the content that I have. But if you want all 5 of these tips plus my new Alabama offensive ebook, go to the link down below in the pinned comment to join CFB University, where you can get your first month for 20% off when you use code YouTube at checkout. It's really the best way to transform your understanding and get better here at offense and defense in College Football 26, because you can save everything on your phone, and it has videos and screenshots attached to help you out. I highly recommend you check it out today, and let's jump right back into the video. Because next I want to break down the most important offensive passing tip here, and that's actually pocket presence. If you don't master this, you're not going to be able to consistently complete passes on anyone you play. Let me show you. Alright, so pocket presence. This is something that doesn't matter the formation, the play, the playbook. As long as you're calling a passing play, you have to master this, because I see too many players, whether this actually applies to, you know, any game mode, any game that you're playing, right? You have to take the snap and cancel your drop back, step up in the pocket, and open up lanes. You notice how right there, I didn't see anyone open. I wasn't able to find anyone, so I took a sack. But the reality is, this sack, the ball is at, let's see, where is this ball? This ball is at about the 42-yard line, all right? 42-yard line, I step all the way up. This sack, it is now 2nd and 11. That was a 1-yard loss sack. 2nd and 11, in 2nd and 10, not that big of a difference. You're still calling the same types of plays, and you still have the same types of opportunities. So that's really the first benefit of pocket presence. When you don't find anyone open and you happen to take a sack, you're really not losing that many yards. Versus when you guys do this, drift this far back in the pocket. I mean, X is open here. Like, he's open, but I'm still just drifting back, and now I decide to roll out, and now I just take this horrible sack where I've lost like 30 yards. It's like 2nd and 40, right? You're never going to ever come back from that, right? Against anyone who's smart. So it's like, you can't afford to just drift back in the pocket. Really, again, what you need to do, take your snap, flick the left stick up to cancel your drawback, and now you're able to better find these windows down the field and turn these into big gains down the field and give yourself opportunity to find guys open. So that's really what it's about. It's about just canceling your dropback and stepping up the pocket. You also don't want to drift too far in one direction. Like, let's just say I'm stepping towards my target to find that B receiver open, because now that rusher right there, who really didn't even win his pass rush rep, he kind of was just getting destroyed, but now he gets a sack because you just stepped right into him. The offensive line is going to consistently create good pockets for you, so you need to make sure you're stepping up. And this is something else that too many players incorrectly say. They're like, hey, I step up in the pocket, but I'm just getting shedded. Well, that just means that now you need to get rid of the ball faster. Like, there's nothing that you can do. Sheds are a part of this game. So now, if that's the case, you notice how you're getting shedded right through the interior. That just means speed up your read progression. Find guys open. You might not have 4 or 5 seconds in the pocket, especially if you're playing like cut at the end of the year. It's like, well, yeah, these defensive linemen are pretty good, so you're going to need to get rid of the ball. Also, when you get blitz, you're better able to recognize the blitz because you're higher up in the pocket, and you're able to find these guys open down the field for big gains. So it's like, anytime you're passing the ball, it doesn't matter the play call, it doesn't matter the formation, the play, nothing like that. You need to make sure that you're actually stepping up in the pocket. But the best drill to improve your pocket presence, because you can do that, right? You can take my advice that I just gave you, right, and take it into your next game and work on it, and you'll get better with it over time. But if you seriously want to get better really quickly with pocket presence, just put the ball at the -1 yard line so that you're backed up all the way into your own goalpost, basically. And so now when you take the snap, if you do this, if you continue with your habit of dropping back, you're just going to step out of the back of the end zone. So it really becomes really easy to build the muscle memory of not drifting back when you're this backed up in the end zone. And then you also know that this is going to be a tough read progression for you. So it's like, you're going to actually have to like go through it, right? Backed up all the way in the end zone. It's going to be uncomfortable. And you just want to really work on not taking sacks, not taking safeties, and just really trying to find a guy open or take off with your quarterback. You're able to see how I go through my read progression right here. I feel the pressure backed all the way up, horrible camera angle, all of it, and yet we're still able to find someone open. I would also recommend you send 5 out so that you're getting pressured more often, and you'll just build that muscle memory. But it's like, just cancel your drop back by flicking the left stick up, go through your read progression, and find guys open. But also the reality is, you can take off. So I step all the way up, I see a lane open, and so now I take off with my quarterback, and that's something that can happen for you. So flick the left stick up, cancel your drop back, go through your read progression, find guys open, don't drift too far back, and if you have to take off with your quarterback, do that. All right, before I jump into those final 2 offensive tips that you're absolutely not going to want to miss here in College Football 26 are going to help you get better, I wanted to remind you to go down below, hit that subscribe button. I'm the only one breaking down College Football 26 tips and tricks right now to get you guys better for 27 and start the year off strong. So I'm really the best channel to watch and take information from. I highly recommend you hit that subscribe button. It's literally free. And let's jump into those final 2 tips. Because next I want to break down a trick that's going to make your offense better by making your RPO offense better. And as we know, RPOs are some of the easiest plays in the game to abuse. Let me show you what I mean. Alright, so what I'm talking about here is going to be hot routing your RPOs. Now, you cannot do this with every single RPO in this game, but actually on a lot of them you can. So really what you're going to do, you're going to press Y, and so this is going to open the hot route menu. Now, you're going to notice how you can only hot route receivers that are on a route. So only in this case the tight end B and Clemens the slot receiver X. But again, not every play can you even hot route the guys that are on a route. So it's again really where it's like, if you can hot route, that makes that RPO really valuable and a whole lot better. So what we're going to do, we're going to have Clemens right here, and really what I would say is you want to read the defensive look pre-snap. Right here, there's a linebacker standing directly over Clemens, so I might put him on a shriek, but because that guy's standing there, this time I'm just going to put him on a flat. And so I'm going to attack the flat, and so you're going to notice how we're easily going to be able to pick up yards down the field and be able to get out into space. Where it's like, you're just kind of reading the look that they're giving you. If the seam looks open, you're going to throw it. Now, right here, again, I'm going to put Clemens on a flat again, but this time there's a man coverage defender standing right over him. So really I'm going to look to my tight end right here. And that's exactly right, where there's no one in the flat on that side. So I hit it, and I'm able to turn that into easy yards. So it's like when you're high running your RPOs, you're really just reading the look that they're giving you. Right here, it's like, okay, I'm actually going to put them on a slant this time because this looks like they're in a man blitz. I'm exactly right. And, I mean, the ball got bad at the line of scrimmage. But it's like, so that's kind of what you're doing. You're kind of just reading the look pre-snap. Right here, I'm going to double flat them. If this R defender, the guy with the R over his head, if he comes down, I'm throwing the tight end. If not, I'm going to throw it to X. He does come down, and so I'm going to do exactly that. That time there was another linebacker there, credit to him, but you still see how that's an easy 4-yard gain, right? And that's what truly keeps drives alive, allowing you to play ahead of the chains and pick up easy yards and, you know, not take a lot of risks. Right here, another flat opportunity. Our block set up wonderfully on the outside. We're going to be able to juke and turn that into, you know, 15 yards down the field on a literal pass that was at 1 yard. Right here, the seam might look open, so I'm going to throw it. All right, I'm going to put him on a streak, I'm going to attack the seam, and I'm going to juke that guy and turn that into easy yards. So this is what's going to make your RPOs a whole lot better versus, like, the bubble's good. Like, leaving the stock bubble or whatever route is good, but you're just not often, like, right here. That's what I'm talking about. Like, you can pick up yards with the bubble. It's going to be open for you, but it's like you want to give yourself the most control depending on the look that they're giving you pre-snap, which is where using a slant, a drag, a streak, a flat on this guy is going to be the most valuable right here. Those guys just kind of standing in no man's land, and so we're going to easily throw that pass out there. So bottom line here with this tip, it's like, just read the look pre-snap. They give you the seam, throw it. If they give you the flat, throw it. And don't be afraid to just either hand the ball off if they take all the passing threats away, or just throw the flat out here to the tight end here in this case. But as long as you read the look, you're just going to see how you can pretty much just call RPOs up and down the field based on the look that they give you. But that fifth and final offensive tip that I want to break down today is actually going to be how you can start to glitch out their zones by using a very unique route that not enough players know about. Let me show you. Alright, so that route that I'm going to be breaking down here is actually going to be the stemmed up curl route, alright? Because this route is going to be very hard to stop, obviously. So what you're going to do, you have a curl, right? You have your curl flat concept, right? Running back on a flat, guy on a curl route, right? We take the snap. The reality, though, is you see how that linebacker is right there? Now, we still catch it because this linebacker is a dummy. He was literally standing right there. But it's like, what if I could get, like, over him? Like, look at all this space. In order for him to defend this curl, he basically had to, like, come all the way down, like being a 5-yard hook, where he comes all the way down like this to defend this. But it's like, what if I got my guy to be about right here? Like, or, yeah, like right there. Where it's like you stem that route up. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So we're going to put him in a curl, and then we're going to stem it up twice with the D-pad so that it runs further up the field. Right, so now this is what it's going to look like. So now we take the snap, that curl is going to do a much better job of sitting in that area. Now, the adjustment that they can make is now they move their hooks further back. So that's where it's like you have to understand what they're doing on defense with their zone drops to actually be able to determine where you need to go. So again, this time they're tired of, getting beat with the regular curl. So now you stem it up twice, with the D-pad. And so now we're going to take the snap right here, step up in the pocket, and now we're going to have that curl wide open in that zone, which is just a better window of the defense to be able to attack, simply because, their hooks are underneath. Their hooks are at 5 to defend a regular curl. But now you just move it up the field, and so you're just going to sit right in front of him. Now, the next adjustment that they're going to make, and the next good use case for the curl route, is actually if they decide to user it. So now what's going to happen is you're going to stem it up twice. They're going to follow it with their user now, but the reality is this just looks like a shriek. So they're going to guard it. Now they're going to peel off because they think that guy's just running a shriek route. And so now you can just throw it as soon as they peel off, right? So it's very important that you have that timing down, but it's only when they actually peel off. So don't just mindlessly throw it, right? You want to throw it like here because now you see they're peeling away from it, and now it still looks like he's running a shriek right here. So they peel off as they probably should, because the reason they're going to peel off is because a shriek is going to get guarded by an inside third, which they have on the field right here. Or a deep half if they had that on the field, or even an inside quarter, any deep zone, right? So, but now he's just going to sit down right in front of that guy, and so he's going to find that pocket, for an easy completion. So it's really like, hey, well now if they user that route too, you're also going to be able to just turn that into easy yards. But also if they don't user it, let's just say they just didn't recognize it at all, well that's going to make it even easier because a deep zone's not going to guard that. So we're going to take the snap again right here, step up in the pocket, and so now we're going to be able to find that because that deep zone isn't actually going to come down and guard that because that's not actually a vertical route. Like, he's running vertical, but he's just going to sit down right before the deep zone is actually able to guard him. So you're able to see right here where if he kept running, yeah, the inside third would guard him, but he just sits down right in front of him and gives us an easy completion. So the bottom line here, a stemmed up route is going to get to a great spot in the zone, whether you have to highball it, whether you just have to step in the pocket and throw it, because it's like their users really going to get confused by it because it just looks like a shriek. You know, a lot of zone defenses aren't going to be able to guard it, and the only way that they're truly going to be able to slow it down is by having a disciplined user or moving their hook zones back, which opens up really the rest of your offense. Alright, so if you found these 5 offensive tips helpful here in College Football 26, go down below, hit that subscribe button. Again, I'm the only one still breaking down College Football 26 tips and tricks just like this every single day to help you guys get better, and I'm going to be doing the same thing when College Football 27 drops, so I'm really the best channel to watch and take information from. But if you want all 5 of these tips, you're serious about getting better, to save on your phone during gameplay in your next game, along with my Alabama offensive ebook, which is brand new, go to the link down below in the pinned comment to join CFB University, where you can get your first month for 20% off by using code YouTube at checkout. Really everything you can save on your phone, full videos, screenshots, write-ups, they guide you through it all, and I highly recommend you check it out to help you get better. But if you want to see 5 more offensive tips to help you transform your offense even more than I did in this video, check out this video right here. I'll see you over there.